If 1,350 yards, 7 touchdowns, and being in the top 10 receiving yard leaders does not get you a contract extension, then I don't know what will. Brandon Aiyuk is coming off a career year with the 49ers, but San Francisco does not believe paying him right now is a priority. A frustrated Aiyuk has expressed interest in teams he wants to play for and has officially requested a trade last week. With the 49ers having many players to pay, it seems more likely that Aiyuk will get traded, which brings into question which teams should call San Francisco for a trade. And also stay tuned till the end of the video for our predictions on where Brandon Aiyuk will play next season.
The first team that should be calling the Niners about Brandon Aiyuk is very easily, in my opinion, the Buffalo Bills.
I 100% agree. Buffalo Bills got rid of Stephon Diggs. He went to Houston. Gabe Davis left in free agency. He went to Jacksonville, I believe. And right now, their only option is Keon Coleman, who they drafted in the second round. He's not even a first-round pick. And that's a lot of pressure on that kid. Honestly, he's won our hearts with his crazy press conferences, right? But on-field performance-wise and on paper, it doesn't look good on the wide receiver position for the Buffalo Bills at the moment.
So Keon Coleman had a great year at FSU. I mean, yes, he fell down the draft boards a little bit. I don't know particularly why, but based on when watching FSU year, he was like their main number one guy. So I see why. I think they traded down from the draft as well, and they got him in like the first or second pick of the second round. Yes, wide receiver wise, they're gone, right? Like Stephon Diggs, obviously a lot of drama with that one. They had to, in my opinion, they had to move on just to get fresh start. Joe Brady's a new offensive coordinator that came in last year. The big thing is also how you like to say for the Chiefs that, you know, their number one isn't a wide receiver, it's Travis Kelce. They have 2 studs and tight ends as well. So it all depends on what Joe Brady wants. And Dawson Knox, by the way, and Dalton Kincaid.
Yeah.
The question is, they're definitely incorporating a lot of the run game. It doesn't seem like it's no more hero ball. So James Cook is going to be heavily involved. Aiyuk had he's a top 5 receiver last year, top 10 at the very minimum, top 10 last year.
Here's the thing, right? They're transitioning Joe Brady offense from Ken Dorsey offense, right? Ken Dorsey is just Josh Allen carry. Joe Brady's like, Josh Allen, let me help you.
Yeah.
Right? And James Cook is the help. Dalton Kincaid is the help. Dawson Knox is the help.
Yeah.
Right? And I agree with you. The Chiefs already have a number one, and the Bills might already have the number one. But what does Brandon Aiyuk bring to this that Diggs struggles so much in, right? Aiyuk is already in a run-centric, heavily offensively schemed playbook where, a lot of motions, all this stuff. You got to do pre-snap. Aiyuk's already familiar with that.
Yeah.
Right? Aiyuk's familiar with the run game. Like, Aiyuk knows that CMC is that guy.
Yeah.
He's going to have to block for him. Aiyuk will block for James Cook. Aiyuk will, get open and do his receiver work, right? Aiyuk's never gonna, when Aiyuk's in San Fran, he will never ever lead the league in receiving because of Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, right? So he just knows he's just got to do his job, right? Whereas Diggs is it's all on me and it shouldn't be on anything else, like hero ball. It's all on Allen and Diggs. Aiyuk knows it's not all on him. So he's going to take the load off of everyone, and having him in there as a number one option. We all know what Brandon Aiyuk could do when it comes to receiving, route running, all that stuff. But when it comes to blocking and doing the dirty work, Aiyuk's still going to do that. And that's why he'll fit. Whereas Diggs struggles so much down the stretch when the Bills were actually cooking.
He still will get his looks, right? Because he's still going to be the number one guy. Because I'm looking at their receivers right now outside of Knox and Kincaid, including the tight end position here. They have names, but we've heard of, Chase Claypool's there. Obviously, we mentioned Keon Coleman. There's KJ Hamler, Andy Isabella. Remember him?
Pace merchant.
They have another pace merchant. Marquez Valdez-Scantling is there, right? Khalil Shakir. So, yes, they have solid depth pieces, but they don't have the guy because look at the guys that have the guy, all right? They go off. It doesn't matter. Michael Pittman Jr. was the guy for the Colts, right? He was making plays no matter what. You could throw the ball to him and do it. Aiyuk shown that last year in the playoffs. We'll talk about the Niners and the teams he wants to go to later. But the Bills, the other big question is, people are going to talk about, what about the cap and all that? Listen, yes, we didn't look too much into the cap situation. But the thing with the NFL is that's different from all the other sports. You could
move on from people quick.
Not even just move on from people, but also restructure big deals and all that and figure stuff.
And there's one last point to cap up the Bills. Your Super Bowl window's now. Right?
Yeah.
Some people might argue the Super Bowl window's passed by trading Diggs and all that. You still have an opportunity to win. I know that AFC is loaded, but getting Aiyuk will help you massively. And it's not just because he's getting a name because he's a name. You're getting a name that's going to fit and that's been there, done that, made a Super Bowl coming off a Super Bowl performance, right? And in his breakout year. It's just a perfect fit for Buffalo. It might be too expensive, but it's definitely something they have to explore.
They trade for him, they'll figure out an extension during the year. Maybe that's the case. They'll figure out the contracts, right? Again, we didn't look too much into the contracts. We're just looking at the fit of the team. That's the point of this video. And listen, I think Aiyuk, I could probably put them number 1 in the division once again. Right now, they're arguably number 3.
It's just
arguably. They're probably number 2, but they go
It's a 3-headed race, right? Yeah. 3-headed monster. It could go either way, in my opinion, so far. But that's the Bills side.
Let's move
on to the next team, and this one's gonna get you more excited.
Yes,
because you are a Justin Herbert fan, and Justin Herbert has legit nobody to throw the ball to unless Quentin Johnson somehow breaks out this year.
Yeah. So the Los Angeles Chargers got rid of Keenan Allen. He went to the Bears. And then Mike Williams ended up leaving because they released him, and he ended up being a Jet now, I believe.
Yes.
So that's another reason why Bills should be going after Aiyuk. But the Chargers, they addressed the O-line issue in the draft, right? Adding Joe Alt instead of taking a guy like Malik Neighbors or Rome Odunze, whoever was available, which is fair. I get it. You got to keep Herbert upright because last year was definitely his first injury-ridden year, and you don't want that to continue. However, you literally took away every single weapon he had. Right, Austin Eckler's gone too, and he's a good pass catching back as well. And then you kind of replaced them with the Baltimore offense, which is kind of, I guess that's where why would you want to go to a run heavy offense with, right? You brought in Greg Roman, you brought in the 2 Gus Edwards, I believe,
and you get J.K. Dobbins as well.
J.K. Dobbins, yeah. I believe they have both the guys from there.
Yeah.
So.
Harbaugh's a coach, so it's going to be run heavy too.
Right, because he ran J.J. McCarthy, sorry, Blake Corum and all them in Michigan. However, everything you said about Buffalo adds up here. The only difference between the two teams are Buffalo is legit a contender. Right, as soon as they get him, they might still be a contender with him. Without him, this will elevate them. Chargers, if they add him, and he's shown that he could be the guy as the one guy. He might not have been the one guy in San Francisco. I get that, but I feel like he has shown and he has capabilities of being the guy. Offensively, in the cap situation, who are they really paying outside of Justin Herbert? I don't think they're overpaying the running backs like that.
Yeah.
Is defensively is where they're gonna figure out. They have J.C. Jackson's contract on the books, Joey Bosa, and Khalil Mack.
So here's the thing with the Chargers, right?
And Derwin James.
This is a destination where Aiyuk definitely does not want to go because it's gonna take more than Aiyuk.
I want to cut you off for a sec. Sure. I would rather live in LA than Buffalo.
That is true, but if you want to win a Super Bowl, you go to Buffalo, right? It's definitely not gonna. It's gonna take more than Aiyuk to get this Chargers team good because their defense is not even good either. A lot of that issue might be because of Staley, and you bring in Harbaugh. That could just be a fix, just like that.
I don't know who they brought in for DC,
but overall, the Chargers suck. They're just simple as that. But the fit is there if they wanna give Herbert someone. Ayuk's a guy. Again, Aiyuk can play in any system. In terms of, a run-centric system, Aiyuk could play off the ball as much as he can. Because in Shanahan's offense, when you have Debo, McCaffrey, Kittle, you're going to have to learn to set your ego aside and get them the ball as well. So Ayuk's good at that. There's no issue with that. Chargers, again, like the Bills, is a good fit. The only difference is the Chargers suck and the Bills Aiyuk will take Bills to legit Super Bowl contendership.
The reason why I don't, I agree with you there. They're compared to the two teams, Bills are much better. The thing with the Chargers, though, is Herbert has shown he could do stuff with less when Mike Williams and Keenan Allen.
Yeah, he's shown something. But what is their ceiling? What is their ceiling?
Again, if you add Aiyuk, yes, they're in a division with the.
What is their ceiling?
I get it.
Aiyuk.
I guess they're in a division with the.
They're not winning the division.
Yeah,
with Aiyuk.
Right, but I get it. They could still get in the playoffs. I know that's not the ultimate goal, but to start off now. Get in the playoffs, maybe you get more cap space and you add more people from the trade or
for the Chargers. That might
not
be the best thing making the playoffs this year for the Chargers. Personally, just because they are multiple pieces away. I think with the one good draft pick, the Chargers could just be good.
Next year's quarterback might be 1-2, so they could afford what the Cardinals did this year.
Who else does a Chargers? So Bills 1, Chargers 2. Let's talk about a situation
even worse than
both of them because there is a rookie quarterback in New England, in Drake May.
Should be, but it's between him and Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah, and again, New England, honestly, for the longest time, lack wide receivers.
New era,
New era for them, new head coach. Obviously, Belichick is gone.
new GM because of it.
New GM as well. Brandon Aiyuk is going to come in and, again, take over the number one spot clearly. How much does Brandon Aiyuk want to play with a rookie quarterback and get legit not contend for the next couple of years? I doubt he ever wants to be in that situation. But overall, again, the fit's there. Patriots just lack wide receivers every year, essentially. And Aiyuk, again, is going to be another fit like the Chargers and Bills. But this situation is just much worse because even with Aiyuk, I don't think they're touching a playoff spot.
Listen, if Aiyuk wants to get paid and if Aiyuk wants to be the number one guy and paid like a number one guy, this is a spot, right? It all depends on what he wants. Does he want, like, obviously, like we said, this cap situation is definitely a lot more different than the other two teams we said, especially the Bills, right? A team I wanted to throw out there was the Cardinals because I know he would have gotten paid there and they would have been a better team.
But in division.
But that's in division and I don't think that's realistic. That's why we did not put him there. But that's a great spot for any other future wide receiver that wants out. But the Patriots just make sense because, again, every year that's the one thing that they lacked, right?
Defensively, they should be fine, honestly. But
Yeah.
offensively, they're going to lack.
Only the issues with them is like a rookie head coach, new GM,
And a rookie quarterback.
and a rookie quarterback, right? Even though I believe, from what I'm hearing and seeing reports, it's going to be Jacoby to start, but we all know who the future is there. So ultimately, we think these three teams,
So basically, we have a situation where Aiyuk takes the team to Super Bowl contendership in the Buffalo Bills. We have a situation where Aiyuk can increase the Chargers ceiling to a playoff spot. And we have a situation where Aiyuk doesn't do anything with the Patriots, basically.
I mean, he'll help elevate.
He'll help elevate them, but they won't be dead last, third overall pick.
Chargers, for sure.
Maybe a 10th overall pick.
Like, Chargers, definitely, they could be the second best team in that division.
Oh, they will be.
With Aiyuk.
If they get that, they'll definitely be
Yeah.
second best.
So, I like I said, barring any cap situations, we feel like these three teams are the best fits for him. But let's talk about three other teams very quickly, because we have to talk about the 49ers, right, very quickly, because that's where he literally is.
So,
So let's start with that, and then talk about the two teams.
49ers, there's another situation with the 49ers. Trent Williams is also holding out.
Yeah,
And this is a situation now where they're going to have to pick and choose who they value more. Because like you said, and like we said before, Kittle's on the books. Purdy's going to be on the book.
off the books soon.
Well, off the books. Like,
2025 is
get paid. They're going to get paid.
Yeah, and Purdy will probably get
And now Trent Williams is added to the list.
Yeah.
So, and now Brandon Ayuk's obviously a free agent next year.
So there's a difference between when it came to
I don't think they could play all four.
There's a difference between when it came to Debo, when he was trying to up and requested the same exact situation with Aiyuk was, because no one really was up at that point except for Trent Williams, right? Brock Purdy alone is going to take up everybody's money combined, essentially, right? Because he was the literal last pick of the draft. He's Mr. Irrelevant, and he was not getting paid upper rookie.
I think Man's driving a Honda Civic right now.
Yeah. He's like, what do you think? Like, based on the recent extensions, I would give him Trevor Lawrence money.
If Daniel Jones is making $40 million,
Yeah.
he is getting $45 million minimum.
Yeah, like Trevor Lawrence is the highest paid QB right now, I believe. So, or tied with someone. I think Joe Burrow.
Tied with Burrow, yeah.
Yeah. So either way, like he's in that range. A Super Bowl final appearance. Sorry, Super Bowl appearance, not
Two conference finals appearances.
Was undefeated for a while to start his career.
One Super Bowl.
So he's gonna get paid heavily. That's where a lot of your cap is gonna go. But and one more thing.
But there's one thing too as well. Yeah, go.
George Kittle. Like he's Mr. Niner to me.
Oh yeah, he's not.
Like you can't let him go unless there's like way down in his career, and he could still produce with the blocking and catching.
So here's the thing: Purdy still got to prove himself. So it's going to be a lot of performance based contract for Purdy in terms of he still is going to have to light shit up this year.
Yeah.
Kittle again, he's already proven. Trent Williams again already proven. They already know their worth, and the Niners should already know their worth, and every NFL team knows their worth.
Debo's been in trade talks just to make for Aiyuk.
The Niners already extended Debo a few years ago. They've extended Juwan Jennings, and they drafted a wide receiver in their first round pick. And now with Trent Williams being, holding out, and Aiyuk's not holding out, which props to him.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Because CeeDee Lamb's holding on. We know he's the number one guy.
It's a situation where it's just looking like Aiyuk is gonna be the odd man out. I don't see a world where,
barring any trades,
I don't see a world where he's gonna stay a Niner long term.
Yeah, so
Emphasis on long term.
before we give our predictions, let's talk about the teams he's publicly stated that he wants to go to, which is the Washington Commanders and the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Let's start off with the Steelers.
Again, that fit is kind of right, like they're in the Chargers territory for me.
They're better than
It does fit.
they're in between the Chargers and the Bills,
Yeah.
right?
So again, their situation, but the big difference between the Chargers and the Bills are we don't know what their quarterback situation is going to be like, right? Right now, it's Russell Wilson coming off a decent year for this compared to the year he had first with the Broncos was terrible. Coming off a better year, and we know what he's like in the past. But then also, if he does terrible, you have Justin Fields there. But we know what situation was him not having weapons. Their receiver options, they have Najee Harris in the backfield with the Jalen Warren, and then you have
Good backfield.
decent tight end, right? Pat Fryermuth, and then
They also have
their
Darnell. They also have Darnell Washington, I believe. There's another young guy there.
and then they have George Pickens right now as their guy.
Is their guy, yeah.
Did they Deontay Johnson? Is he still?
He's gone.
Yeah, he's gone, right? So
So basically, it's Pickens in the wide receiver group. Adding in Aiyuk will give him a dynamic duo in the wide receiver group and a solid trio of pass catchers with Fryermuth in the mix as well. Run game is solid. Najee, again, hopefully he could produce a little bit more.
obviously a solid defense.
But yeah, obviously he's going to have a solid defense. Jalen Warren was exceptional last year, and he's a good pass catcher out of the backfield as well. Defense is solid. We don't need a question there. As long as TJ Watt's on the field, you're good.
Yeah,
And obviously Minka as well. Tomlin's a coach. They're always going to be relevant. Ayuk's the type of player, again, will take him to the next level. Is their next level going to be, is it going to be Super Bowl contender? No. But I would say a playoff lock potentially. If they manage.
yeah. I mean, they're always a playoff lock, and this will just solidify it more.
Realistically,
Yeah.
like coming into the season, do you think they're a playoff
No,
lock? Like,
we know they'll find out.
coming into the season.
Okay, sorry, their record is usually over 500.
Yeah,
It's not the playoff lock thing, but
yeah.
that division is tough, and I think they need.
Like right now, like they're last place in the division.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Right.
Um,
On paper, but with Aiyuk, it's a little bit of a it's gonna be close between the four teams.
I'll talk about the Commanders very quickly before we make our final decision where we're going to end up next year and the future as well. The Washington Commanders, the reason why he wants to go there is because he's literally said it to Jaden Daniels, right? He has a great relationship with Jaden Daniels, their rookie quarterback. I believe both were Arizona State boys before Jaden Daniels ended up going to LSU. I'll fact check that when you talk in a second. But outside of that, like, I get you want to be with your boy. I get it. You know, this is the first time ever I heard of someone wants to go to Washington. I guess that Dan Schneider effect is over there. But it's crowded there, right? Like, you have a lot of receivers there. Terry McLaurin, in my opinion, is still heavily underrated. I don't know how he's in the 90, in the 100, top 100 ranking. Obviously, he had issues last year with Bieniemy, and in terms of catching the ball. They have Jahan Dotson there. They have another, I think, is Curtis Samuel still there?
I think he got cut.
Okay, so,
Curtis Samuel's a
but either way, they got two studs already.
Samuel's a non-factor,
But they got two studs already.
and maybe that's the thing, right? You add in Aiyuk, you have
But he wants to get paid.
yeah, you add in but Dotson's a rookie, right? They still could find a way to make it work. They have a rookie contract,
Yeah.
rookie quarterback. They already have much cap space on the offensive side of the ball already, right? The issue with the Commanders is O-line right now, and obviously a little bit on the defense because Sweat and Young are gone.
Yeah.
But overall, Commanders, average defense, bad O-line. You have a quarterback of the future. You have good weapons. You add in Aiyuk, you're going to have great weapons,
Yeah.
right? Especially with the McLaurin and Aiyuk. It's going to be a situation where Jaden Daniels is going to make Jaden Daniels happy because Daniels is jealous, right? He's looking at Caleb Williams' situation. He's like, what the hell? Why can't they do this shit for me? And if that's a reaction they're going to get, Aiyuk's obviously going to be that solution.
I think they played 1 year together because Jaden Daniels was in Arizona State for 2019 to 2021. And Aiyuk left Sierra something, I forgot, to Arizona State, which was 2018 to 2019.
Yeah, so again, makes sense. They have a connection. They
Yeah.
have some sort of history. For the Commanders side, I would say out of all the teams we listed, it makes the least sense, but it still works.
Every team would want depth, right? It's just figuring out the contracts.
Well, this is not a depth player. This is D guy.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
adding more, getting more deep. Let's just say that.
Adding talent.
Adding talent. Get more depth to it, right?
Like, obviously, if it was 2 years ago, we'd be saying Indianapolis Colts,
Yeah.
right? But again, and same with the Green Bay Packers, but we know Chris Ballard, we know the Packers GM, they're put their faith in these second round wide receivers who have stepped up.
Yeah.
Pittman, Christian Watson, Romeo Dobbs, Josh Downs,
Yeah.
right? Like all these guys have stepped up, and now obviously Colts drafted A.D. Mitchell as well. So it doesn't make sense that these two teams would go after the first guy, but obviously you would love to see it happen. But I just don't think the GMs will make that move. So that's why they're not on this list.
Yeah.
But again,
Then
Bills is 1, Chargers right behind them, Pats 3, Steelers and
I
Commanders.
have Steelers ahead of the Pats.
Yeah, Steelers have the Pats for sure. And then Commanders are probably the lowest.
Yeah.
But the question is,
Where will he?
where will Aiyuk end up?
So
We're going to start off by this. I think we're going to start off in the short term.
short term and long term. Okay.
Yeah, short term. Is Aiyuk a 49er on week 1?
Yes, because training camps, I feel like I've started. He'll start off there. Then again, I won't be surprised if something happens at the NFL, barring any trade. Like, we're assuming Debo's still a Niner. We're assuming everybody else's priority.
Yeah, but what does your gut tell you? It's a prediction.
My gut tells me
gotta
that
be-
since he is reported in training camp, he'll be a Niner in the short term, and they'll find a way to trade him before the
So
draft.
that's week 1, right?
Yes.
Trade deadline move potentially.
Maybe, but I doubt it because they'll be in contention.
So right now, I agree with you. I think Aiyuk is a Niner week 1, and I think Aiyuk's a Niner all season the upcoming season. He will be a Niner.
Ultimately, though,
But when it comes down to this now, long term, all right, we both agree Aiyuk's a Niner. But what's going to happen after that?
I still think I still feel like he will, before even the season starts, could be a possibility. I'm just saying my gut feeling is he'll start off as a Niner, but I won't be surprised if this happens. I feel like he'll end up being a Steeler. I feel like they need a weapon like him.
But when? When will he end up being a Steeler? What's your guess? Next off season?
I might have
Or this off season?
if I'm saying he's gonna be a Niner this year, he's gonna be a Niner all year long. Because like, how much are they really gonna believe in the guy that drafted in Purcell from Florida, the Niners? How much time till the week 1? About like 6 weeks,
6 weeks.
6 to 8 weeks here.
Not even 8.
I'll say
Maybe.
okay. I'm gonna go with next off season. He's gonna somehow be a Steeler. I'm gonna say that
So
he will be a Steeler because I feel like that's a good spot for him. They're a team that's always competitive. He'll easily be the number 1. They just need to figure out their quarterback situation though. That's it.
I agree with you in terms of Niners next year, right? He's going to play it out. Going to get franchise tagged. And then he's going to get traded to his boy, Jaden Daniels.
So you're going Washington.
I'm going with the Washington Commanders, and I think that's where Aiyuk's going to end up in the long term.
Hey, I'm gonna ask you this very quickly.
I'm just going to get this out there. I don't see a world. I barely see a world where Aiyuk's going to be a Niner long term here.
Yeah.
I just think he's going to be the
I don't
odd out.
see it happening either.
Yeah.
Just because of because if Purdy wasn't going to get paid, that's the main reason
Yeah.
why. If Purdy was not getting paid anytime soon, he was going to be a Niner long term. I
Yes.
have no doubt about it.
Yeah.
I want to say this very quickly. For that to work, do you think McLaurin's gone? Because you're a big McLaurin fan too.
I'm a big McLaurin fan. And I think that's going to be a big factor
Yeah.
in this move.
Because right now, it's Debo or
It's
him.
clear McLaurin hasn't been really happy the last
Yeah.
couple of years. Right?
Come to Indy.
I'm doing it. He is from Indy.
Oh, yeah, that's why.
But it's clear that McLaurin hasn't been happy. If there is a McLaurin trade request if there's a McLaurin trade request in the next offseason, it most likely he's going to be gone. And my guess is Brandon Aiyuk's going to be in
Okay.
Washington.
So ultimately, our predictions: short term, we still believe he will be a Niner, but by the end of next season or whatever the case may be, you think a Commander with his boy. I think he'll end up being a Steeler. We'll see how that ends up going. That's our predictions. Comment down below where you guys think Brandon Aiyuk is going to end up. NFL content is coming heavy, strong. Hit that subscribe button. Click these 2 videos on top of our heads somewhere Jovin's going to put while editing. And we'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.